best thing the Gray State team could have done is go dark and stay dark, because it is dark. And you're not going to take this darkness out of the darkness and move it into the light without truth. And you're not presenting truth. You're presenting your own theory here. You are concluding that David Crowley is guilty. You state it as fact. And yes, and some of you do come after people who do not believe that it is fact. And some of you specifically attack the wild theories out there while ignoring some of the more balanced points and some of the more valid points, some of the more rational points. All I hear is, oh, it's not a government, it's not a government, it's not this, it's not that, nothing to do with the government. Well, that's not the only theory out there. In fact, that's just one of many, many theories. The bigger theory, or the big thing that you should be talking about, in my opinion, what you should be talking about is why you think he's guilty. But then you'll have a problem. See, then you'll have a big problem there, because then everybody's going to wonder, well, wait a minute, your credibility is going to be tarnished by the thousands, possibly millions of people who believe that David Crowley is not guilty. How are you going to convince them that he is? And then how are you going to convince us all to go forward with this project and to support it and to help it out, knowing that it was created by a murderer? You want to have it both ways, but you can't. It's not going to work. And I hope you will listen to this, and I hope you will listen to the words that I'm saying here, because it's common sense. You're going to go forward with this. You're going to have problems. You're going to run into a lot of problems that I don't think you really care about. And I think, let's put it like this. If you really want to go forward with this, let's see if you can do this without making a profit. Not saying without, spending money and balancing it out to where your profit loss margin is the same, where, it's 0-0. But I don't think that's the goal. And I could be wrong. I think what we are about to see is a tug of war to see what happens to the Gray State Project from here on out. Was it David's project? Was it Danny Mason's and David's project? Was it Danny Mason, David Crowley, and Mitch Hiles' project? Or is that just a small way of thinking about this project? Am I just thinking that it's just these three guys? Well, if you look at that trailer, you can obviously tell it's not just these three guys who were involved in this. And I understand that. I understand that they're not the only ones who were involved in making this trailer, and then the only ones involved in making the documentary Gray State, The Rise. But I have been, questioning how much of an involvement have the other Gray State team members had. And is what David said, I believe in late September, about creating, rebuilding a trustworthy team, and then saying, hey, I talk about team and we, but generally it's just me. Was he just venting? Was that frustration on his part? What did he really mean? Why was he distancing himself from at least a few members of the Gray State team after September? And it doesn't mean that he was distancing himself to get away from him. It just seems like his vision for the Gray State project was different than some of the other Gray State teams' vision. And I think the fans want David's vision. That's my view. The fans don't want somebody else's vision, and they don't want a tainted vision. But I could be wrong, because I'm not a fan. I am an outsider just looking at this, trying to look at this as objectively as I can. Now, from the moment that this case happened, the goal was never to prove that this was a government hit. It was never to prove that the Gray State team were involved in some type of foul play, or even that there was some other weird theories happening. Really, I really did come at this from a biased point of view. My biased point of view was to look at the evidence that proved David Crowley guilty. I had to start there. And that's been the biggest challenge. Now, if I would have started at, well, was a government hit, then maybe I could have taken all these little pieces and all these little things and created a nice little puzzle, but I don't think the puzzle pieces would have fit. I think everybody should know that whoever gains control of this project, it will be their project. It won't be David's vision. It will be their vision. Whoever can control those rights will get to say what that vision is, and it's highly possible that that will end up being Danny Mason. Now, it's highly possible that it won't too. Who knows? But whoever it is, it's not going to be David's vision. Is the Gray State team going to tell you that? Are they going to tell you that?